Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Push with Nick and KP. We are back once again to bring you a weekly recap, this time of Friday Night SmackDown, which took place on June 12th in Providence, Rhode Island. A big night in store for the SmackDown, where we see Gunther decide the stipulation for his rematch with Cody Rhodes next week in Kansas City, as well as the final first round matchups of the King and Queen of the Ring. We kick off the show with a recap of Gunther, Sammy, and Cody's shenanigans, as well as Cody's arrival to the arena, where he comes face to face with the Usos. Jay claims that he's winning the King of the Ring tournament and will be gunning for his undisputed WWE Championship. Our first match of the evening is the final first round Queen of the Ring tournament matchup featuring Charlotte Flair, our Women's Intercontinental Champion Sol Ruka, Lyra Valkyria, and the most recent Queen of the Ring winner herself, Jade Cargill. Early in this matchup, we see Bliss and Stratton come out to take care of Michin and B-Fab problem, evening the odds for all four ladies. This matchup really doesn't slow down from there. Not the cleanest matchup you'll see by a long shot, but each woman does kind of get their own time to shine. Unfortunately, Jade has a bit of a hair malfunction, and that really took me out of the end of the matchup there because the only thing I could think about was Jade holding on to her hair there. However, the ending does come with Sol, Lyra, and Charlotte each getting very close near falls, but Charlotte does lock in the figure eight on Lyra Valkyria, who ends up tapping to get the win and advance to face Liv in the semifinals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. In our next matchup of the evening, we see the women's tag team champions Brie Bella and Paige going up against Fatal Influences Fallon Henley and Lainey Reed, accompanied by that rock star JC Jane. This is a really fun matchup with some shoddy refereeing or perhaps some really nice strategy and chemistry from both teams here. Let you be the judge on that one. In the end, JC gets ejected from ringside after finally getting involved and caught doing so by the ref. Shortly after, Brie helps Paige reverse a small package to get the win. It does really feel like Paige and Brie get every single win in some weird underhanded tactic, even if it's them giving their opponents, this time being Fatal Influence, a taste of their own medicine. So it's an interesting booking strategy, but Fatal Influence still looking quite strong each time they get the opportunity to do so, even if that doesn't equate to an actual win. We then see Sami Zayn make his way down to the ring. Zayn calls out the undisputed WWE champion after what happened last week around Gunther, inadvertent or not. Some back and forth here about Sammy still being a good guy. Sammy questions Cody's other friends and asks where are they now. A couple of smacks are exchanged here after Cody calls out Sammy for being jealous that he doesn't have this title. After Sammy gets smacked, he grabs a chair but thinks better of it and retreats. This is a great promo here by both men and great character work, in my opinion, as well. Just as much was said non verbally than it was actually said. So I'm invested in the story and even more so looking forward to this match inevitably when it does happen. However, they may fit into this whole Gunther feud that Cody is currently dealing with. But luckily for us, we don't have to wait too long. It's not in sequential order by any means, but we do end up finding out that Gunther's stipulation is going to be to have Sami Zayn act as a special guest referee for their championship match next week on SmackDown. So really looking forward to that one. It was also advertised that that match will be commercial free, as well as very crowded and stacked card next week. So looking forward to that SmackDown as well. A quick backstage promo between Fatu and Solo that sees Fatu deliver a message from the OTC himself, and that message is simple, and that is for Solo to come back home. Solo kind of really can't believe his ears here, but simply responds that if that is what the OTC truly wants, then he needs to deliver that message himself. Our next match of the evening features Axiom going one-on-one with Rey Fenix, who is set to defend his AAA Cruiserweight Championship. This match is very fast-paced, as you would expect, with each man showing up and showing out. But in the end, a Mexican muscle buster is how Rey Fenix gets the win over Axiom and still your AAA Cruiserweight Champion. This was obviously a great match. Not the best I think that either of them are capable of, but a really fun contest. We then see your United States champion, Trick Williams, make his way down to the ring, accompanied by Little Yachty. Trick is upset that he lost last week in his King of the Ring matchup, despite the tactics used by the winner, Dominic Mysterio. Saints and Carmelo Hayes quickly join the scene and argue who deserves to be the next challenger for Trick's U.S. Championship. Trick interrupts them both and says it doesn't matter because he'll whoop that Trick regardless. But to go ahead and figure it out amongst yourself, Trick ends up standing tall here after a bit of brawling takes place between all three men. So, yeah, looking forward to that. It was also announced that next week, Carmelo Hayes and Ricky Saints would go up to figure out who would become the number one contender. I'm kind of hoping that that doesn't get a clear winner because the three of these guys in a triple threat would be a ton of fun. So, yeah, regardless, looking forward to this U.S. title scene on the men's side. After Chelsea Green tries to protect Tiffany backstage earlier in the night after taking them out in the Queen of the Ring shenanigans to kick off the show. So lots of back and forth here throughout the night. They end up going up against each other in a 2-on-2 matchup against BFAB and Michin here on SmackDown tonight. This is a decent, albeit very quick matchup that sees Jade come down and try to get a bit of revenge from earlier in the night. Takes out Tiffany, which allows Micha to hit a Styles Clash to get the pin and win over Chelsea and Tiffany. After the match, Tiffany tries to attack Jade once again, but is outnumbered, and Jade hits Tiffany with a Jaded and then takes a real good look at that United States Championship. So perhaps we are about to reignite that feud once again. Which is an interesting choice, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see where they take that one. Our next match and main event of the evening is the final first round King of the Ring matchup between Jey Uso, Finn Balor, Royce Keys, and LA Knight. This match was cleaner and better than the Queen of the Ring match that we saw earlier in the evening. We see LA Knight, Jay, and Finn work together to do their best Shield impression and powerbomb Royce through the announce table. One would think this would remove him from the match entirely, but that's not quite the case as Finn hits a coup de grace and everyone in the arena, including myself, is thinking that's the end, but Royce rises from the dead to make sure Finn doesn't get the win. Shortly after, Solo hits Knight with a Samoan spike, and then Royce hits him with the ultimate spine buster. But Jay is waiting from the top ropes and hits an Uso splash to get the win and will advance to face Javon Evans in the semifinals of the King of the Ring tournament. To me, that was the best SmackDown we've had in recent memory. While not saying that, not saying a ton because SmackDown has seemingly been struggling a lot lately, but this was genuinely a fun episode in my opinion. The U.S. title scene on both sides starting to look pretty clear. The announced stipulation for the Gunther vs. Cody match next week does include Sami Zayn and both Charlotte and Jey Uso advancing in their representative or their respective tournament. What did you make of this episode of SmackDown? And do you feel the right person advanced in each tournament? I'd probably give the SmackDown a solid 7. Just a quality show overall and all around. But let us know what you thought in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you like what we're putting out here. As always, we'll be back shortly with those weekly recaps. And also don't forget to keep an eye out for our newest project, that NXT PLE project. We're going through every single NXT PLE, reviewing them per usual as we do our reaction PLE videos. It should be a ton of fun, and we're looking forward to pumping those out in the very near future. But until next time, this has been The Push with Nick and KP. We'll see you soon. Take care.